Hi everyone, welcome to my children's literature review. I've chosen the book The Queen Who Saved Her People by Tilda Balsley. This book was actually recommended to me by my sister. She's a preschool, actually she works in a Jewish preschool and she teaches full-day kindergarten as part of their preschool program, and she was looking forward to reading this to her class and recommended it to me for the kindergarten age group. Actually, after reading this book, I feel like this would be a great book for kindergarten, first graders, even preschool would probably be okay. And I'm going to introduce a way that we could incorporate using third, fourth, fifth graders as well. So it's kind of a neat book and fun for several age groups, although kindergarten through first grade would probably be best. I love this book. I love the rhyming aspect of it, as you'll see. I think it has wonderful pictures, wonderful illustrations. It's a very fun book about the story of Purim. And it does not have the customs and traditions of Purim mixed in, although in the end there's a creative way of doing that, which you'll see. What I liked most is how they tell the story of Esther. Now, the way I would introduce this book is first I would introduce Purim. This is a cute story, but I think the children need to have more of an essence of what Purim means, the story. I would tell them about the story of Purim, the Megillah, and then all the traditions and customs that go along with it. And then after studying about it and learning about it and doing some activities, I would have this book available and introduce that story again to them in a very fun way, a rhyming way, which is very age appropriate. They can learn the rhyming, and they're doing words that rhyme anyway in school. There's also some lessons that are in this book that I will talk about as I go. I'll read it as if I'm reading to the class, and so I will pause in between and ask some questions, and it's part of the bigger picture and seeing some of the issues and resolving those with the kids. Also, I will be discussing with them, there's some words in here, some Jewish words, as well as regular English words that I think a few of them are a little bit, maybe be above their normal level of understanding. Maybe they may be a little developmentally more than they're ready to have. So what I would do is I would go through those words with them. So there's going to be some big words in this book. First of all, we're going to talk about the month of Adar. Adar is the month, the Jewish month, in which we celebrate Purim every year. So we're going to hear about the month of Adar in this book. We're going to hear the word Megillah, and Megillah is a story that's read from a scroll. In this case, it's the story of Esther. We're going to hear about the word Pur, as in Purim. Pur means lot, which a lot is something that is chosen randomly. So we'll talk about in the book when we get to it how that random lot gets chosen. And then there are the English words banish. And to banish someone is to get rid of them or send them away. Beseech means to beg for something. Distraught, that means very upset. And then we're going to talk about gallows. Now, gallows are where Haman was hung and killed because he was such a terrible person, plotting to kill all the Jews this way. And then the tide gets turned and he ends up being the one that is punished and in this way. Now, as a teacher, I always have found in the past this to be kind of a sensitive topic, gallows and death, and it's part of the story, and it's in almost every children's book that I've read. And so we can kind of gloss over it, but it also needs to be addressed. So we have to do that in a very sensitive way, I think, and try not to focus on it as much. Obsessed, what does it mean to be obsessed? In this book, it's about the king can't stop thinking about the queen, can't stop thinking about someone or something. That's what obsessed is. Rival, someone in competition with you or trying to be better than you. Sackcloth is something that's worn that's very simple, and it's also used to show mourning or sadness. Mourning means sadness. Now, in order not to interrupt the flow of this book, I'm going to discuss those words with the kids ahead of time. but then also reiterate them as we go through them, because they're big words and they will have heard what they mean before, so a quick little prompt reminder will be necessary in the book, and hopefully that won't interrupt the flow of the book itself and the rhymes, and you'll see what I mean. What I'd like to say also is that I'm going to be taking out 2 sentences of a book, and I rarely have ever done this, but in this book you'll see, I'm going to read to you this little part that I'm taking out. I'm taking the liberty of doing so. I would leave that up to the discretion of the teacher, maybe discuss with other teachers. When I first started reading this book and it was at the beginning, I thought, oh gosh, this is going to be crazy. This may not be a good book. But really this silliness only happens on it's like the 2nd or 3rd page. So I decided to take it out. It's almost like in the Disney movies where they throw some extra goofy lines in that the kids don't understand, but it's almost for the purpose of the parents getting a kick out of it, or the adults who are seeing the movie kind of appeal towards the parents or the adult moviegoer. In this case, it would be the adult reader, is what I would imagine or think that the author had in mind. But I'll give you this example, and then maybe you'll see. And again, this is a very discretionary thing. This is not a big deal, but when I'm reading it and you see the line and I leave it out, I wanted to explain why. Bring young ladies sweet and fair, but only when you've fixed their hair. Put perfume here and perfume there, given them clean underwear, and treated them to free health care. So I'm taking out the underwear and free health care. I would just blot it out in orange or something like that, and hopefully a clever child wouldn't notice. But it's okay taking it out. It doesn't affect the rhyme or anything in the book. So when I read the book to you, you'll see it without. So I wanted to mention that. And also, I love what she does in here. When you open the book, past the title page, of course, it says, for more pour and fun, this story may be performed as a reader's theater script. You can assign 5 parts. The narrator read the text in black type. King Ahasuerus read the text in green type. Queen Esther in purple, Mordecai in blue, Haman in red. So the text is actually in different colors, so it lends itself to being done in this theatrical presentation. And my idea would be to invite the 3rd, 4th, or 5th graders, 5 of them, into the classroom, perhaps the next day, to do their own rendition of this story with the children. And the children are already familiar with this, so it might be more interactive. It also gives the older children a chance to mentor the younger kids, to be a role model, and also to create community within the classroom and the school. So I really like the idea of bringing some of the older kids in to read this. The younger kids, I think at kindergarten, wouldn't be able to read this. I think it's too advanced for them to read themselves. And then afterward, they could break out into discussion sessions where each of the 5 kids takes maybe 3 or 4 children, depending on how many are in the class, and they can have little discussions about Purim. And I thought that would be kind of a neat little activity that followed. I am going to read the book to you. I am going to incorporate some of the bigger ideas and some of the thought-provoking questions within the reading of the book itself. So here we go. The Queen Who Saved Her People. I hope you all enjoy this book. Ahasuerus, Persia's king, was like a puppet on a string. His court decided everything. They said, Queen Vashti won't obey. You need to banish her today. I'll do it. Yes, I think you're right. I need a queen who will excite. There goes Vashti. Bring young ladies sweet and fair, but only when you've fixed their hair. Put perfume here and perfume there. I need a queen. Look everywhere. Beside the palace lived a Jew. This Mordecai was strong and true. His cousin Esther lived there too. The king's men saw her, all agreed. He'd like this lady guaranteed. Her cousin hugged and kissed her twice and whispered quickly this advice. This is Mordecai saying to Esther, No one knows that you're a Jew. That secret must be kept by you. Huh. That secret must be kept by you. Boys and girls, what do you think about secrets? Do we like to tell secrets? Are secrets a good thing to tell? Gosh, I don't think they're always a good idea, are they? Do you ever keep a secret from your mom or dad? No, we don't keep secrets from our parents, do we? It's very important that we always are honest and tell the truth to our parents. Maybe to our brothers and sisters, grandparents. It's important not to keep secrets. We've talked a lot this year about secrets and how they're not very nice. But in this case, why do you think Mordecai would want to keep a secret? What do you think? What could that be? He's not keeping it from his mom and dad, and he's not keeping it from Esther, but they want to keep it from the king, that she's Jewish. Right. Okay, well, let me tell you something. You guys all have your Jewish friends here, right? And you're very comfortable being Jewish. And we live in a world today where it's okay to be Jewish. And we can tell the king, we can tell the queen, we can tell your teacher, we can tell anyone that you're Jewish, right? Back in these days, maybe it was harder to be Jewish. And maybe in the land, maybe the king didn't know very many Jewish people. So maybe Mordecai was worried that if he knew that she was Jewish, that it might seem like a stranger and he may not want to marry her. So maybe that might be a reason to keep a secret, just to protect Esther. So that might be a reason, so we can think about that. But usually we don't like to keep secrets. So that's Mordecai and that's Esther. So they're getting ready to see about her going into the palace. Well, guess what? She didn't tell and nobody guessed. The king met her and was impressed. In all ways, she outshines the rest. I'll make her queen. I am obsessed. Remember we talked about obsessed? He can't stop thinking about her. He loves her. Her cousin, remember Mordecai? Her cousin was around a lot. One day, he overheard a plot. Death to the king? He was distraught. He was very, very upset. He warned the queen the men were caught. This Mordecai, write his name down to note the day he saved my crown. Yay! Mordecai saved the day. The king then made a huge mistake promoting Haman. Ooh, what a snake. Here he is. There's Haman. Fantastic! I'm a VIP. VIP is a very important person. Now everyone will bow to me. But faithful Mordecai said, no, I won't bow to that so-and-so. So remember when we talked about the story of Purim last week? Why is it that Mordecai wouldn't bow down to Haman? Jack, what do you think? Very good, that's right. He won't bow down to Haman because Haman's a man. And Mordecai said, that's right, he would only bow down to God. So there's Haman. Insulted, evil Haman vowed, when I get through, he'll wish he bowed. I'll crush them all, that Jewish crowd. So see, things weren't always so good for the Jewish people. We had the evil Haman who didn't like the Jews because of Mordecai, or so he says. A lot, or a poor, remember we talked about poor meaning a lot, something that you pick just out of the clear blue sky. A lot helped set the date for Haman's plan. He couldn't wait. Oh, king, those people over there, they break your laws. How do they dare? Let me destroy them everywhere. The king says, sure, you can do it. I don't care. Ha ha ha. Haman says, the month of Adar. Day 13. Boom, that day. I'm randomly picking it. That's my lot. That's my poor. The month of Adar, day 13. All Jews, young, old, and in between will die. Yes, I'll enjoy that scene. So Mordecai put sackcloth on. Remember we talked about sackcloth?